It's a shame this isn't taught in every single doctor's office around the world. This is our greatest tool in mitigating stress and flourishing as humans. It removes the need for medication and specialists. And this can be the difference between someone who thrives in their workouts and someone who's constantly stiff, lethargic, and prone to injuries. This is called the coherent breath, and it's been used by ancient cultures for thousands of years. There's a bit of a silent epidemic going on. Mouth breathing, shallow breathing, unconscious breathing. Seems like a small thing. If you get your oxygen, who cares how you do it, right? Wrong. A shallow breath affects our whole physiology. The heart rate increases, which means blood pressure goes up, making anxiety increase and stress feels more prominent. Muscles tighten, body feels stiff, recovery from workouts is slow, fatigue sets in. The ancient samurais believed you should be able to breathe without moving a feather placed under your nose. And ancient yogis would slow down to 1 to 3 breaths per minute. In the modern age, we're breathing heavier and more times per minute, making us less healthy. A lot of us feel like we need more mobility, more stretching, but maybe we need to slow down and trigger the more pliable, soft nature of our body. Coherent breathing is a breath pattern that's extremely simple. By taking a 5 to 6 second inhale and a 5 to 6 second exhale, you achieve 5 breath cycles per minute. It's called coherent because it synchronizes the body. The heart rate, blood pressure, and nervous system start to work together. You connect to your diaphragm, the body relaxes, and you feel in harmony with the world. Qigong has had this figured out for thousands of years, but in our Western society, no one can make money off of it, and teaching how to heal ourselves is not very lucrative. You can literally do this breath anytime, at your computer, seated on the ground, or with some light movement. I'm going to place a visual on the screen from my friend Sandy, who's a breathwork teacher. Try to follow it while I share more of the benefits of coherent breathing. The validity of this technique really hit home when I had a friend who was struggling with high blood pressure. I told him if he got a high reading to do this technique for 5 minutes and then retest. He was a little skeptical, but props for him for trying it. Some of his retests are significantly lower. We're talking dropping 20-ish points of systolic pressure. There's also studies that show the coherent breath can drop inflammation levels significantly. Most fatal diseases are caused by, or at least made worse by, inflammation. Inflammation also makes our joints hurt more. It makes our muscles stiff and our recovery slow. I use this breathing whenever I feel stressed or a bit too stimulated, like after a workout. Just 5 minutes is enough to reduce your stress levels. 10 minutes will completely change your state to a more positive one. And 20 minutes, I kid you not, you'll probably feel a little bit high. But that high feeling is really just feeling relaxed and in harmony with your body and the environment. But here's the thing, even though the immediate effects are outstanding, the long-term effects are even better because we're training ourselves to breathe slower even when we're not focused on it. When do we breathe unconsciously? When we sleep. Snoring and sleep apnea levels are at an all-time high, not just for adults, but kids too. This can wreak havoc on our health. If we don't get restful sleep, we don't recover. Over time, we start to feel stress, brain fog, and chronic fatigue. By doing the coherent breath frequently, you're training your body's ability to unconsciously tap into parasympathetic nervous system and relax. It's modern day living that is speeding us up. Mix constant screens and dopamine hits with caffeine and a never-ending to-do list, and it's no surprise that we're breathing quickly. Our caveman ancestors did not have this problem. There's other factors working against us, such as processed food. There's a really interesting book on this subject called Jaws. But the best thing we can do for us and our kids is to nasal breathe. Use our diaphragm and slow down. This is ancient wisdom that rewires the modern body. How did that 2 minutes of breathing make you feel? Do you feel more relaxed? If my main objective is relaxation, I'll usually lie on my back or sit cross-legged and do the breathing. But there's a lot of opportunity for the movement, slow breathing combo. Here's 3 that I like to use. Like I mentioned, Qigong has been doing this for thousands of years, and their classic lift the sky movement is one of the easiest ways to link breath with movement. Simply inhale the arms up, exhale the arms down. Make it feel like the breath controls the movement rather than your muscles. High horse stance is another great one to use with this breathing pattern. This isn't so much about mobility, it's about feeling strong and stable through the legs while slowing down the breath. But probably my favorite position to use is the deep squat. As you slow down your breath and relax, this becomes what it's supposed to be, a resting position. Every morning I'll use one of these movements or just sit on the ground and do coherence breathing for 5 minutes. But remember, you can sit there at your computer in your office and do this as well. In a world that wants us to do more, Often doing less is the answer. I really like Sandy's 5-minute coherence session. I use it a lot. Link below. I learned about a lot of this from James Nestor's book called Breath. This is the type of book that can change your life. If you want to prioritize your mobility this year, my Master Mobility program is half off for the next week.